Hi guys, this is going to be a special edition of the Perfect Monday. We are going to do something very beautiful because it's my birthday coming up, and that's the flamingos design. So yes, you can see those beautiful birds in here, and that's something summery and bright. If you're new to this channel, my name is Dorota Palicka, international nail artist and educator, and consider to subscribe because there is lots of useful tutorials, hints and tips for every nail technician. So thumbs up, like and share this video, and start doing this beautiful design. So yeah, that's the designs which we are going to do. And the first step, as usual, we have to buff the tip. Those flamingos are really beautiful, and as I mentioned, it's a special gift for you as it's my birthday coming up in 2 days time. And in case if I get too drunk, then you've got something special. If I'm not able to produce the next week video. Obviously, I'm only kidding. I will be with you guys, whatever. It doesn't matter like what's happened. You will see a new video every single week. So if you're new in here, don't forget to subscribe as there are special nail art designs coming up every Monday in here. But to do the flamingo, we need to paint the tip in white, and that's what I have done. And then cure it 30 seconds. I'm curing in an LED light, so depending on your light, you cure different time. And then on my mixing palette, I'm going to put a couple of colors. This is a color numbered 164, which is a bubble gum. It's a really nice bright pink. I quite like to always squeeze out more colors, even if I'm not going to use all of them. And this one is so beautiful too. It's called Ice Cream 146. Let's go a couple more. The tip is cured. I can apply the second layer. For a white, I have used the Tic Tac, the 173. And for a white, I quite like the consistency of it because it kind of gives you a pretty nice look even in a one coat. So the second coat is just to perfect the look. That's the second layer done, and I can cure it. We're going to use a tiny bit of the orange as well. And that's 151. I think a bit of yellow. It's kind of yellow-green, 148. The green one for the eyes, because the flamingos got like kind of greeny eyes. And what else I might need? Mainly that's all, to be honest. Quite a lot of top coat in different places, so kind of slapping the top coat in different places. For black, because of the consistency, I'm always working with the foil design gel, and it's fantastic for the any kind of the tilet work, very precise, because it's so highly pigmented. So tiny bit of those black. And the same for my white painting. I'm using the Paint on French gel. I'm just squeezing a little bit of that too. And the white, I'm usually placing in a couple different places because I might need to use it with different colors as well, plus on its own. So it's nice to put it just a couple dots, the same like we did with the top coat. Now, the design itself looks kind of pretty tricky and maybe complicated, but it's actually not as bad as it looks. So you need to kind of make it as easy as possible for yourself, guys. The brush I'm going to use is the painting fine liner from the Nail Perfect as well. And I will be working my brush into a very, very fine tip, just so I can paint it nice and easy. The easiest way to paint the flamingo is kind of go into almost letter 2-ish, and that's what I'm going to show you. So I'm going to mix my two pinks with a tiny bit of top coat, just so it doesn't go too strong. And then I'm starting painting a number 2. So once you have done number 2, you know where the head is going to be, and you know where the wings are going to be, also the neck. That's the easiest way to paint the neck. And now we need to just kind of thicken up the part where we've got the head. So what I'm doing really is just making it wider, but don't do it too much at the first place, because it may happen that it doesn't go the way you want, so you want to have some room for improvement. Now I need to thicken up my neck. So here is a body of it. And what I'm really doing is just kind of applying the color mixed with the top coat, so this way I don't get like completely even surface, because I want those kind of uneven look to it. We need to also make the head a bit bigger. And so does the neck as well. So make those head bigger. And actually, this is the only part which we do kind of very quick. The rest of it is going to be really slow and precise. Just make sure it's nice and even. Okay, and the neck is still a bit too slim. Okay, so that's my background of it done. Now I need to start working on my pick. So to do that, I need to prolong this part a little bit. Oh, I've got a wee sponge where I can clean my brush. And I'm just working with the product I've got there. So my pick is going to go somewhere here, and it will go like this. The pick is black at the end, but that's the color you would use at the end. You don't want to work too much with your black, because it's a very highly pigmented and hard to correct if we do any mistake. Now the neck needs to also be indicated where it's starting. So I'm going to take a tiny bit of this darker color and just place it a little bit in here and underneath here, just so those places are a little bit darker. Same where the wings are going to be a bit darker here, because here we will apply lots of lighter color. At this stage I can cure it. It is going to be only a flash cure. You don't need to cure it completely, just so it doesn't run and you can kind of work on the next layers. And the next step is our pick. So for the pick I'm going to use a white color. I don't want it to be too strong, so I'm mixing it with the top coat. And then we will be fading it in with some dark pink and black as well. So the pick has to go somewhere here, and it's kind of like a C letter-ish. So I have just done a C letter. You probably cannot see it because it's white on top of white. But be patient. I'm just going to turn the tip on the other side and need to fade it in where the eye is going to be. Tiny bit more of white. Another letter C-ish. Okay, so we've got the beginning of the pick done. And now we can start fading it. So this place has to be much darker, just so you will know where everything is. So yeah, this way you know where the peak is. At the same time, I can work a little bit on the structure and on the feathers. So I'm going to use the pink mix with the white and the top coat, like lots of top coat. And my feathers are going to be here. So basically what I'm doing is just like doing lots of strokes. And you can see you already start looking nicer with a tiny bit of the texture. I think also my neck is a little bit too slim at this place, so I'm just mixing the color which I have used on the beginning to add a little bit more thickness in this part. Blend that in. Okay, I can flash cure it again. And we can start working with the black. So look what I have did. I have cleaned my brush and then I'm going into my black, but this is a big blob of the product. It is, we cannot work like this. So I have to work out my brush into the tiniest point I can possibly get with it. So really nice and tiny. I'm working with like the smallest amount of the product. And I'm start fading my peak. So the place where it has the point is the slimmest one. Look how fine lines I can get. So each time work out your brush really well. Obviously for those type of painting, I'm usually kind of tend to hold my breath. Now we also need to have the part with the line in the middle. So I'm just thickening it up a little bit. So it starts slowly looking like a flamingo. And we can also indicate the place where the eye is going to be. So I've got this white, and now I can start painting the eye. It is going to be the smallest amount of the black gel as you can get. And then paint the shape of the eye. We also want to fade those black with the darker color. So that's what I'm going to do now. And you have to be very careful when doing that because the black is very pigmented. Okay, I can also fade it a bit more to the top. So that's my black work done for now. I can cure it again. You want to give it only a couple seconds cure, and then I wouldn't go to the same places. I would swap the place so I can give it another flash cure to that. And again, I'm going to work a little bit on the feathers. So I'm picking up a tiny bit of the black, of the white, and tiny bit of those darkest pink. Get a bit more. There we are. And more white. Okay. So I've got mainly white on my brush with a tiny bit of those lighter color. And I'm again doing the same what we did it before. So the ones which are right at the end, they can go like a longer strokes. And then the closer to the body we are, the smaller you can go. We also want to add a little bit of the white, but not pure. Look, I mixed a tiny bit of this pink which I had left, top coat, and the white, just to give a little bit of shading at the points which we want to highlight. And what I'm doing is just lots of little lines. And here on the top of the head as well. There's hardly any color in it, but it does really exchange the look of it. It's got, kind of gives more texture. Then, so our green is more visible. Tiny bit of white with a drop of the top coat. Fill up those eye space. And then also we can work more on our peak as well. So I want that to be more visible. And the brush has to be extremely thin at the end. And I'm start fading it a tiny bit with those darkest pink. This is a little bit time consuming, but like the nicer design we want to get, the more time we should spend with it. I went into the pink, which I'm fading now. And again, I can give it a flash cure. So inside the eye, we want to use the green color. And again, I don't like just a one shade. I quite like a different kind of shade. So I'm mixing a tiny bit of those light yellow-greenish with the green color. And I'm going to do like a dot inside the eye. So just a nice large dot. So nice large dot. And I give it flash cure so it doesn't run. When you're painting the eye, always kind of give it extra flash cures to make sure you've got really defined look. Again, I'm going to mix my white with the top coat because I want to lighten up that, but add a drop of the pink as well, so I get like a very extremely pale pink. And we can start adding feathers on his neck. So lots of tiny wee strokes of the brush. Just because we don't want it to look too flat. We can do that on top of the head as well. What else we could do is take the white, mix with the drop of orange. And we could fade it around the peak area here. So just a tiny bit. So we've got slightly different shade of the pink. Okay. I've got some here. Again, on the top of the head. That's where the biggest light is reflecting on, so I can give it a bit more. I have went too much, so dabbing in my pink again and just fading it in. Underneath of the eye, I want to go a little bit darker, so I'm just picking up the darkest pink I've got, and I give a tiny bit of shadow there. So tiny bit of shadow underneath of the eye. And I can also make a black dot inside the eye. So I have created a black dot inside the eye. I can cure it now. Again, just a flash cure. And we can move on into the part again to work on the peak and the feathers. So on the peak, I'm still need to fade it a little bit more on the white, so white and top coat. A bit of the red. A bit more red, but clean your white because we're working on the black now. And what I'm doing is I'm doing millions of the very small movement of my hand, like million dots-ish, to fade it in. Yeah, that's much nicer now. I clean my brush, but there is some left over of the black. So I'm just touching it there to give a little shadow. I can give it flash cure, and then we can add the sparkle inside the eye, and we can add the nose as well. So picking up my black, extremely thin. If you can look at my the size of the brush, look how tiny it is. So tiny, tiny, tiny. Work your brush out, and then you can go into the design. Okay, so I have to turn it again into the comfy position. Hold the breath, and we are going to do the nose. So line. And then the one on the top. So we've got like a wee nose. Okay, I'm happy with the fading on the black and the peak. And I can clean my brush properly, go into white, but because we have work with black, I need to kind of clean it off and then pick up the white again, because I want the sparkle in the eye to be very, very sharp. Tiny amount of the product in and just a very small dot. Hold the breath. There we are. So you can see the sweet tiny sparkle in the eye. Because it is so precise, I want to flash cure it so the gel doesn't run. Even those 2 seconds kind of freeze the product, and we can concentrate on more feathers now. Because you can see, like on this one, I have put, I show you, I have put lots of more work into the feathering of the face, and you can see it looks more like there are some feathers, and why this one is still kind of flat, so we don't want those kind of look. And to achieve that, you really kind of go messy, so white and a top coat, and we just go and play and do lots of wee dots. Just so it looks like a feathers. You could almost do it like a dots as well, that would work, like lots of dots. Then stronger white, so we can do a bit more on the feathers. Like very strong white now. And just a tiny, tiny wee strokes, so it looks like there is something going on. And it's kind of give those 3D almost effect as well. I'm still not happy with the texture, so I'm just adding a tiny bit more of those white dots. Here at the cheeks as well. So just like a final detail. And basically that's our flamingo done. We could add a tiny bit of sparkle into it to make it look more interesting, but let's cure it first and then add him a crown. Or maybe not, leave it as a daddy, mommy, and a son, or a daughter. So I'm going to use the matte velour top coat because I think it looks pretty nice. And I do really hope you have enjoyed watching this special episode. And if you did, give me a like, or if you're new in here, it will be nice to get some birthday present and a wee subscription from you. So I'm applying the top coat. And I love this top coat, by the way, as well. It's a really great matte look. So just apply the top coat and cure it, and then I show you the finished look. And of course I will see you next Monday. Even if I'm hungover, I will see you next Monday. So be in with me, and if you've got any special requests or you would like to see something, just write me in the comments down below and I will be happy to produce those videos for you. But that's another flamingo which we've got in, and I'm going to show you them zoomed in, so to keep you inspired. Also, if you have tried this design, you can hashtag Dorota Palicka on your social medias, and I will be very happy to check your work too. So, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.